You're now listening to The Creator Code, the podcast dedicated to unlocking the secrets of your favorite online creators. Each week, we will deep dive into the tech, tips, and tricks to find out what truly makes them tick. Whether you're a new creator just starting out or an accomplished veteran, this show is made for you. And now, here's your host, MattyTingles.
Okay, welcome back to the Creator Code podcast. This is episode 7, if you can believe it. I am your host, MattyTingles. This is the podcast where we unlock the secrets of your favorite creators. Thank you so much for being here. As a reminder, full video of these episodes are on YouTube, so check that out. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, specifically Apple Podcasts. If you're listening on there, please go leave a 5-star review. That is literally the only way that Apple gives you to grow as a podcast is just those reviews. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. We have a great episode on the way. So today, episode 7, we have a very special guest joining us. And these are not just my words. I'm talking about one of the biggest, most watched ASMRtists on Twitch. I'm talking 174,000 followers. Talking over 14 million views, over 18,000 hours streamed, if you can believe that. Such a beautiful person inside and out. Of course, I'm talking about MaryJLeeee. Mary, how are you?
Yay, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for the intro and for having me.
Of course. I like to hype people up right before.
I think you did a great job. I was like,
good.
wow, 18,000?
That's funny. Like a lot of the intros that I've done, they're like, wait, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, seriously.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm great. I've been doing really well. It's been a pretty great year.
Yeah?
Everything, everything's opening up.
Yeah.
Getting out in the sun. Summer's coming out.
Nice. I think this summer is about to be kind of crazy.
I know. People are like ready to party.
Like people are about to be outside.
Wretched.
This summer. Like I think it's gonna be crazy.
I'm excited.
Okay, well let's get right to it. So speaking of things opening up and all of that, obviously the last year and a half has been kind of crazy and different for a lot of reasons. But when we were first of all, where you're at, are things what is the state of things being open or closed?
So I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
And Texas has been one of the most open states.
Yeah.
Since it's been like a year since it's been open. I think they hit 50% capacity last summer, and then they were at 75%. I want to say by like the fall at least. So it's like they were kind of not. Yeah, it's been very open, but it's weird because I know less people who have had serious cases of COVID here in Texas than like family and friends I know from like Jersey or California. So I don't know. I don't know if it helped, but it's
yeah. I think like out from the outside looking in, Texas has been one of those where it's just like you guys have been open for a minute.
Yeah, everyone's like visiting Texas because it's so open.
This wasn't on the questions. I'm just curious, like. Because I know a lot of creators, and especially like bigger creators, are moving to Texas.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and obviously, there's some financial reasons that I think a lot of people are doing it. What are your thoughts on that? Have you seen like an influx of people?
Oh my God, so many people.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, I want to say there was like 100 people who moved here last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe in like the last 2 years, who are just streamers.
Right.
So it's definitely grown a lot.
Yeah.
And I think I think the Twitch community knows that it's kind of like the streamer mecca right now. So yeah, it's been great just to like be able to hang out with people who are in the same industry,
Right. Yeah, I feel like I see someone new like every week, a creator that I follow going there. and I know, for instance, like Joe Rogan, right? He signed like I don't even want to know how much. It's hundreds of millions of dollar deal with Spotify for his podcast, and he was like, all right, before we do that, let me go live in Texas for a little bit to
Oh,
miss
is
out
that
on
why
those.
he came?
Yeah, because he's gonna save like 60 million in taxes.
Oh, wow.
You
He's
know what I
actually
mean?
building a comedy club
Is
down
he?
here too. Was it him? It was either him or Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure he's in on
Regardless,
that.
it's crazy. And like I bought a house here last year and I'm in Oregon, right? And the whole time I was like looking at homes in Texas and I was like,
Yes,
this
come
is
to
like
Texas.
for what I paid for my home, I would have a mansion there.
Dude, you
It's
can have
insane.
2
It's
homes.
craziness. It's crazy. So anyway, that wasn't on the list of things, but I just think it's really interesting because like, the state income tax is way different there. And I think people are moving there, especially for creators, because for what we do, you don't necessarily need to be a certain place, right? You can
Yeah,
stream from as long as you have internet, right?
yeah,
So
Google Fiber.
it's crazy, crazy. I mean, I've been to Texas a couple times. I didn't hate it. I'm not against. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So anyway, so so Texas, open for a while.
For a while.
So what did you miss most when it wasn't kind of pre-pandemic when things were
Hmm.
crazy there? What did you miss the most?
Honestly, not much. Maybe I'm biased because
Mhm.
Texas has been so open,
Right.
but I mean, life wasn't so different. I mean,
Yeah.
I do stay at home a lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, there were still like people out like at restaurants and stuff. People were
The
seating.
whole
So
time.
I think it was for like maybe 3 months that things were
Okay.
closed. But even then, they were doing like deliveries and pickups and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
Um, I mean, I kind of used the pandemic as like I kind of like hermited
Yeah.
myself and like did a lot of growth during that time. So
Nice.
yeah, I don't think I miss anything pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah.
a new era, it
Well,
feels like.
exactly. Well, and I think for what we do too, right? Like, there's not that big of a difference. Like, we were already staying home. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we were going, to a 9 to 5 every morning and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
makes sense.
It
Makes
was a
sense
good time for creators too, especially
for
for us.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. More people at home. More people on Twitch. More people on YouTube.
Yep.
For
They
sure.
like need to relax. We're like, don't worry, we'll do
It, exactly. Exactly. Um. Okay, so let's talk about your start on Twitch. What was it always ASMR on Twitch?
No. So when I first started streaming, I was actually doing IRL. That's when Just
Mm,
Chatting was like called IRL. It was just starting
right.
up there.
What year was that?
And
Do you know?
that was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, I think IRL had been out for like maybe 6 to 9 months when I
Okay.
started.
Okay.
Um, and I like didn't know anything about the culture of Twitch or anything like that. So
Right.
I kind of started and I was like, I'm just gonna do like whatever I want to do. Like people want to hang out, right? So
Yeah.
I would like, like this was like me like pre-influencer. Like I didn't know anything about the industry, and I was kind
Right.
of like, like I'm just gonna like go work out and like go to the pool and
Yeah.
and bring my stream. And at the time, that's when like the whole like titty streaming thing was
Yeah.
like a big thing,
Right.
and I didn't realize how big of a deal it was for like me to like be in a bikini on Twitch. It was like
Yeah.
it was a huge deal. So that's kind of how I started. But
Nice.
I definitely learned a lot about being
Yeah.
a content creator during that
Sure.
time. Yeah, and I did that for about 6 months, maybe
Okay.
not even, maybe like 4 months before I got into like ASMR full time.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's really interesting. I remember those times. I remember that like 2018 ish
it's very
times.
different
Those
now.
was some crazy stuff. Yeah. Um. Uh. Kind of on that note, because I think right now on Twitch there's some changes happening. that have been kind of in the media and in social media and stuff. With the hot tubs and all of that stuff. Any thoughts on that? Like, they just got their own category.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my
like
god.
so when it first started, I was like, okay, it's just a thing. Like, because things change all the time, and there's new metas, and there's new little trends that happen, right? But for it to get its own category, I think one, it was a little bit of Twitch trying to save themselves and be like, okay, we got to put this stuff somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yep. Literally.
Right. So
Like, put it in a box, like, put it in the corner.
exactly. Yeah. But like, it's as much as it's easy to like joke around about, like, they're getting significant views, significant support in that area, right? So, and again, getting their own category was I remember when ASMR got its own category. You know what I
Don't
mean?
even
Like,
get me started on that. They exiled us, okay? I was so mad, Maddie. I was not happy with that.
Oh
We
my
were the
gosh.
first category to get exiled like that.
Really?
And I was like, us? Out of
Yeah.
everyone, like, the most wholesome?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the hot tub streams, don't really have an opinion on them so much
Yeah.
anymore. Mostly because I don't spend too much time, like, watching other creators just because it,
Right.
like, gave me a lot of unnecessary stress.
Sure.
But I think with something like when creators are doing something like that, I think they already understand the pros and cons of doing something like that, you know?
Right.
So to each their own.
Yeah.
I have seen some actually, never mind. Canceled.
Okay. Yep. I got you. All right. So when you start, so you're doing IRL stuff, and then you got into ASMR. Were there any streamers that were really inspiring you in the beginning, or even still?
So when I first started streaming, I was doing like Counter-Strike and stuff before the IRL
Mm.
stuff, like years ago.
Yeah.
And I always liked Kitty Plays Games.
Nice.
She's always been inspiring to me, and she's such a sweet person, and like her
Yeah.
energy is so infectious and positive and genuine. And at the time when I first started, most of the streamers were men.
Yeah.
So to see someone like so vibrant and like fun and engaging doing
Yeah.
well on the platform was super, like, that made me feel like, oh my god, like I could do that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
She seems
she's
great.
just
I've
great.
never met her or spoken to her, but she seems really great.
Yeah, she's such a kind soul.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And isn't she in Texas?
I don't know if she's here anymore,
Oh,
but I
okay.
think she
Okay.
like was here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to her. Yeah, she seems really, really nice, for sure.
Yeah, she's done a lot too. Like, she's so many achievements and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
it's very inspiring.
for sure. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. Because I think for creators out there too that are listening, I think it's a big thing to find people that really inspire you, and that could go a lot of different ways, right? For me, it's people who are like on a schedule, because that's something that I just like can never do, right? So I'm like, wow, that's really cool that they can like stick to that and do that, right? Or even down to technical stuff, like, oh man, I wonder what lens that is, or you know what I mean, just stuff that they're doing. So I think it's really cool to find people out there that will kind of get you up off of your where you're at, and kind of elevate your creative process and what you're doing. So
Yeah.
I think that's really cool to find, and really important to find people that that inspire you. And and again, it doesn't have to be the cliche things that inspire people. It can be whatever. It can literally be anything that can inspire you to go do stuff. So okay. We kind of talked on it, or you kind of just said it a little bit, but talk to me about being a female streamer online. Because I'll say this, right? I have a lot of female friends that are streamers, or even just content creators, right? And the experience is like night and day different from my experience and from a lot of male friends that I have.
Yeah.
Right. So talk to me about being a female streamer online, specifically streamer. What's your experience with that?
Ooh. Being a streamer on Twitch is, I think, I think it's a hard space for females. They've definitely worked, like the culture of the website. They've definitely made so much improvement since like before when
Yeah.
I was doing just chatting and stuff. But for me, my experience as a female creator has been night and day, like based off of the content that I've been creating.
Mm.
So before my being a female streamer was really hard because like everyone's just objectifying you and sexualizing you. And like I definitely wasn't helping with that.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how much it affected my mental health
Mm.
until I started doing ASMR and I was like, like
Yeah.
everyone, yeah. So I think as an ASMR female streamer, the experience is radically different than like being a female gamer or like someone on just chatting,
Hmm.
because you can be totally kosher and just chatting and you're still going to
Yeah.
get so much more, yeah, like
For sure.
unwanted male attention. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And again, I don't know that for my experience, but it's what I've heard from a lot of people. And I think, I'm sure that you still deal with with inappropriate stuff in chat and whatever. And honestly, if you're out there and you're thinking about streaming, and we'll go into this in a little bit too, but find some people you trust to be mods for sure. That's
So important.
huge, 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 huge. Um, and mods, by the way, if you don't know, for streaming is for moderator, and essentially it is people in the chat who are reading the chat and who will delete, ban, timeout people who are being, um, it's up to you. It's up to you, your level of what you want in your chat, right? So, um, yeah, I can imagine the because I think ASMR just in general, right? Especially streaming live, um, people are coming in there to either see you because they're fans of you, right? And you literally, I think you're to the point where you could do anything, and
Thank
a
you.
lot of people would watch you just because they love you, right?
Thanks.
But that doesn't take away from what you're doing. I'm just saying, I think you're to that point. But I think with ASMR too, just in general, it's a nicer, more respectful crowd than you would find on just chatting.
Oh my God. It's like, I couldn't believe it when I found it. It really is.
Yeah.
And I think it's because people are going to ASMR to relax.
Yeah.
Like that's like the whole point. So they're not coming there to be like riled up or like really get
Mm.
entertained so much as like coming there for it to be like a safe space and like somewhere to like just relax. So
Yeah.
I think that whole vibe in ASMR just as a whole really inspires people to be like show their best face and like be softer and a
Right.
little bit like more guards down with their stuff. Yeah, I
I
really
agree.
cherish that community.
I agree. I agree. I've had people come into my chat and like friends, and they'll message me and be like, "That's you have the nicest chat I've ever seen on Twitch." You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
one part of that is this is just me personally, like I have no issue with banning people. I think it's fun. And so like I think I've cultivated a little bit of like, the people who are here are the people who haven't been terrible people in chat. You know what I mean? And it still happens every once in a while, of course. That's just the nature of being live, of course. But um yeah, I think it's really interesting the difference in an ASMR chat than
I,
nearly anywhere else.
I also feel like communities, especially on Twitch, are a reflection of of like the streamer and the creator. So if you have a good
Mm,
chat, it definitely starts with you for sure. Because you
okay, I
dictate
like
what
that.
people, like you dictate your own boundaries for your stream and like what you'll allow and you won't allow. So after a
Hmm.
while, even if like a troll does stumble on your channel, if they see that everyone's being supportive and like they know if they like talk smack, they're gonna like people are gonna,
Mm, yeah,
say something to them, then they kind of will just leave you alone. So I think
yeah,
that's the beauty of like building that community to be strong. So then like trolls don't even try.
that's a great point. That's
Yeah.
a really great point.
Thanks.
How do you get to how have you gotten to that point? Like I mean, I think a lot of the questions that I get with this podcast, because I think it's something that everyone has dealt with, is just dealing with the trolls, dealing with hate, dealing with negative stuff, right? So, you've been doing this for a while. Any advice on that?
I would say, so for me, what really broke that barrier was kind of getting real with my chat about, well, I think every streamer has like boundaries of like what, how private
Yeah.
they want to be in their lives, but just like talking about my feelings and, for people to see a more vulnerable side of me, I think has made people less, you know, they're less
Yeah.
likely to troll and be mean because like, don't do that or I'll just cry. No, I'm just kidding. But I think, when people feel like they have that personal connection with you, or
Right.
like they feel like they know you a little bit more, they're more likely to be like understanding and stuff.
For
But
sure. Yeah.
I know a lot of people get trolls who are just, people will message them like horrible things,
Hmm.
and it really takes a toll on you.
Yeah. For
Like
sure.
like people say like, oh yeah, like don't listen to them and it's fine. Like they don't know what they're talking about. And it's true. All of that is
Hmm.
true, but it still affects you so much. And I think it's good to counter that by, for me, like when I talk to my chat and I talk to them about how much I appreciate them and stuff, I find that I get that energy back.
Yeah.
And that support always trumps the bad stuff. Um,
100%. I
so I
completely
think
agree.
yeah,
I
I think
completely
it's a good
agree. Yeah.
way.
It's I think you made a really good point that I haven't thought about. Like the vibe that you put out, for the most part, you're going to get back.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I'm also like,
Um
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I've also learned to be more careful about what I say to my stream. Like
Mm.
if I wouldn't be comfortable with them saying it to me, I won't say it. So like certain
Ah,
topics I won't even like bring up, and like
right.
certain things about my personal life yeah. So
Yeah.
just
That's kind of been a choice for me too, on YouTube and on Twitch. Like there's just certain stuff I'm not going to talk about.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe part of it is like, at least for me, part of it is the brand, and like I don't want to divide, right? And I'm just not going to talk about it. But also, it's boundaries, and it's like that's stuff that I'm going to keep to myself.
Yeah.
So um, interesting. I think that's a great point. Great point. Okay, moving on. This is a question that I'm genuinely really curious about because it's something that I just started kind of doing intermittently. Um, so talk to me about reruns
Okay.
on Twitch, okay? So before we get into this, explain to the people what a rerun is, of course, because they may not know, and then talk to me about what are the advantages of running reruns.
Okay. So reruns are so on Twitch, most people are broadcasting live. But a rerun is I can take that video and after I end a live, I can just replay videos of like old streams, or I can even like pull like YouTube videos and I could just put any video I want in there.
Yeah.
And the benefit to doing that is, so since Twitch is a very live only platform, when you're like on the browse page or like you're in a category, you're only going to pop up on that screen if you're live or if you're like running a rerun or a premiere.
Right. Right.
So instead of me, since I stream like 2 maybe 3 hours, so if I'm only getting visibility during that time, then it just it's just a waste of
Yeah.
not getting people in. So I play my reruns all day, and so more people can find me. So that's one of the best benefits of it.
Yeah.
But the community also really loves it because ASMR is one of those things where you can just listen to it. They're
Right.
not like actively watching something. So people don't mind like rewatching the same like videos and stuff. I'll just put
Yeah.
them on a cycle.
Yeah.
Um, and also you get ad revenue from reruns. So that's super helpful.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed. Okay, so I just learned something though, because I didn't think about. I guess I didn't think about you not essentially being visible when you're not live.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, because so like every time I get on Twitch, either you're live or you're doing a rerun, and I'm always like, okay, I get it, but like, what is the advantage of that? So that's really, really smart, because then you're always that, and also you're to the point where your reruns are you're towards the top of the ASMR category, regardless if you're live or doing doing reruns, which is really great. Like
Plus.
that's seriously like amazing.
Okay.
Um, okay, okay, that's really cool. That's really, because I've just started doing them, but I didn't think about like all day or even remotely that. I've just been doing like a couple of them in a row.
Oh, like even if you didn't, you could put old YouTube videos up there because like that community will actually no,
Hmm.
you want to push them to YouTube. But yeah, you can really put any content you
Yeah.
want on there. And it's cool because if people miss your stream, they're more likely to sit there and watch what they missed if they don't have to like click to past broadcasts, you know? So it's like they're
Mm.
already
Yeah.
you having a video on your screen, people will be like, oh, I thought she was live, but like, oh, it's a rerun and they'll still watch. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you ever look at the chat and see people that are like talking to you when it's a rerun?
Oh my God, all of the time. I'll get streamers who will raid me and host me.
Right?
Didn't that happen to you?
Yes, yes, yes. It's
They're like,
so
wow, what's going on?
I know, and I feel kind of bad because I'm like not there to like thank them for a raid, or like someone gifted 10 subs the other day when I was on a rerun. You know what I mean? It's just like stuff like that. I'm like, I feel bad that I'm not there to, thank them for those things, but
No.
it's very funny. It's so it's one of my favorite. Like for the first like 2 minutes when I do a rerun, I'll just watch the chat and be like, "Oh my god, can't believe he's live." So, you know what I
Psych.
mean? Yeah, yeah. But I like, because it is confusing. I mean, it's not confusing to us because we know how it works and stuff. But I do think it could be confusing for people, right? Because there's not necessarily. I guess it does say rerun though on the video,
It
right?
does.
When you're doing a rerun.
Yeah.
So why do you think people? I guess like I don't know how to separate it, because then that would kind of take away from the whole idea of being live all the time, right? So, okay, okay,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why a lot of people get confused. Even people who have been in my channel for a
yeah,
long time will be like, "Oh, I thought this was live."
yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, and like you said, like and like we'll get rated when on a rerun, and it's like
I wonder
those.
if it's like we just are always looking for the rerun sign because we're used to
Yeah, that could
seeing
be.
it.
That could be.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. I okay. Anyway, I think that's really, really smart that you do that. By the way,
You should do them.
okay, I
Join
will.
me, brother.
Okay, I'm going to. I'm going to. All right, moving on. Moving on. For creators out there, specifically streamers out there, who are trying to grow their stream, what advice can you give them? And by the way, I think what you just talked about is a big one, right?
Yeah, I think reruns definitely will help because even if you don't do ASMR, it's still a chance for people to see you and
Yeah.
find you on the platform. Because the only other way would be for them to like search up your name if you
Right.
when you're not live. So that's a great way. Um, growing on Twitch as a creator, ooh, I think there's a lot of different avenues depending on what you want to do. For people who are just starting out, I think it's really important to build a core community.
Yeah.
Like you said, like moderators are super important. Like who you pick as your mods are really important.
Yeah.
But having that core community of people who you genuinely like want to get online and conversate with will because no matter how small of a stream you are, there's always people coming in and out of your stream.
For sure.
And if they see a community that's like tight knit and like chill, people are more inclined to stay.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think there's beauty in growing in small numbers. And I
Yeah.
think that's something that frustrates people after a while. And they'll tend to get like, like not value those viewers as much anymore. And this is something that like I've gone through so many times.
For sure.
Um, So yeah, just to like cherish every single person who's there, I think that helps a lot.
Nice.
But if you are on any other platform, like, put it on your Instagram or like wherever, like you have social media, I think blasting
Yeah,
it out there and
for
tapping
sure.
into the other apps helps a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's way harder than I thought it was gonna be to grow on there, right? Because having a larger following on YouTube in my mind was like easy. I was like, okay, if I can even get 20% of them over to Twitch, it would be incredible, right? And I think what I've learned is like, one, Twitch just isn't for everybody. Like I've gotten a lot of comments on YouTube that are like, hey, I want to support you on Twitch and stuff, but like I get really anxious when you're watching someone live, or you know what I mean? Like it's just not for everybody. Um but why do you think it's so hard for Twitch streamers to grow from like or vice versa, if you're big on Twitch to grow YouTube, you know what I mean, or stuff like that?
Oh man, I think Twitch is one of the I think live streaming on Twitch is one of the hardest platforms to
Yeah,
go big on because like you said, like even if you're a YouTuber, it's so hard still because though that audience is used to like a very curated
yeah,
content that's like polished and finished.
right.
And on Twitch, it's just like, come hang out with me for a few hours, you know? So I think like that jump for people, it's like and Twitch is also not the easiest to navigate and understand the culture for.
Sure.
So I think a lot of people have trouble like bringing other people to Twitch.
Yeah.
But I think I think as a Twitch streamer, if you have a solid base, you can kind of grow on so many other platforms like YouTube and TikTok because, you know, like you tell people like, oh, follow this, or like I'm dropping a video here.
Yeah.
And as soon as that video drops, you can like push them and they can like boost your algorithm and stuff.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but I've known people who are like YouTubers getting to Twitch and Twitch to YouTube.
Yeah,
And I think coming onto Twitch is always the hardest move.
for sure. It seems
Yeah.
like it. It seems like it. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I think a lot of, I mean, me included, a couple years ago, I was like, I didn't think it would be hard to grow on Twitch because I thought automatically people would go over. You
Yeah,
know what
you
I
think it's
mean?
like it's both they're both video, so you'd think like,
Right.
yeah.
I think you brought up a good point about navigating Twitch in general, though, compared to like people are just used to how YouTube works. They're
Mhm.
used to everything, and so if you've never been on there, it can be confusing. Sure.
Yeah. And I think like the culture of the platform is Twitch is very niche,
Hmm.
Like when you go, like you don't people when I was new, I didn't even know how to like write emotes or like what's Kappa or like who are these people in these emotes?
Right. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
culture is very like exclusive. So it's
Ah,
not, so it's like on
that's a
YouTube,
great point.
the comments are like funny, but they're not like a core part of the
Mm,
content. But on Twitch, people are gonna come into your stream. They're watching you, but they're absolutely reading the chat. So it's like if
that's
like the community and the culture of Twitch is like so niche and like you have to really understand Twitch to succeed on it. It's a hard jump. You have and it's like
that
a
is
time sink.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a great point. Like, because even something as simple as as emotes, right? Like, at least half of my emotes are like inside jokes with the chat,
Yeah.
right? And if you're new, you won't even know what that is, right? And so much of even how people talk on Twitch is way different than
Yeah.
on YouTube. You know what I mean? There's so much lingo and so much. That's a really good point.
Everything's like
Interesting.
an inside joke. So it's like you come in and you're like,
Yeah.
it's already so different because like I'm just watching someone
Hmm.
live, but now it's like all this lingo I don't understand. So
Hmm.
I think people have to
Interesting.
really want to explore a new place
Yeah.
for them
Yeah.
for that conversion to be successful.
Interesting. Wow. That's a really good point. Okay. All right, can you explain to the listeners, cuz there's a lot of people, I know a lot of people that are doing specifically Twitch as their full-time job, right? Um Can you explain to the listeners how you or someone generates revenue on Twitch?
Yeah. Twitch is pretty the way you make money on Twitch, it's pretty simple. You stream for a little bit and they have like to become, what do they call it? An affiliate.
Affiliate, yeah.
You have like this whole path you can take step by step. And then once you get that, then you're given a sub button. And then you can sub $4.99, $9.99, or $24.99.
Yeah.
So most of the revenue on Twitch for most people comes from subscribers, gifted subs, bits, which are like coins that you can purchase, and donations through like PayPal and stuff.
Yeah.
But Twitch has been, like I said, since it's so useful in growing other avenues and different websites, it's made me it's given me opportunities to make money in so many different platforms like
Right.
Spotify and YouTube. And it's just,
Exactly. Yeah.
definitely
Nice.
a gateway.
What is your I mean, obviously don't go into like real detail, but is the highest part of your revenue subs?
Yes. Probably gifted subs.
Me too. Gifted
People are
subs.
so
Actually,
generous.
you know what? This month it's bits for me.
Get it?
It's been
Bits
bits
are
for me. And
gold
the
too.
subs are really good this month too, but I have a dude in my chat named Grim who has sent like this month he's sent like like 130,000 bits or something like that. It's insane.
That's
Absolutely crazy.
amazing.
Yeah, it's great. First month ever that the bits have been the highest.
Yes.
Okay, so but okay, so then we should probably explain though, right? So if you're new to Twitch, right, and they go to your stream and they go, you know what, I want to support this person, because really that's what it is, right? It's supporting the streamer monetarily. And so let's say they want to sub for $4.99, right? Tier 1, right? Why would someone do if outside of just supporting you, just to be a good person? What are they getting out of subbing to you?
So I think the biggest incentive for people on Twitch is, like you said, simply support. But another thing that's big is emotes. So every channel has their own like personal emotes. You can have an emote made of your face, of your dog, like of whatever you want.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way, especially because if people want to support you, that means they want to be part of your community.
Right.
So having those emotes that are like specialized to your community, I think it gives them more insight to more it makes them want to sub more.
Yeah.
And other streamers will have other, they call them like sub perks.
Yeah.
They'll have like, access to my Discord channel, or like I play video games with subs sometimes. So
Yeah.
everyone can kind of like curate their own.
Right. Yeah. I think, but I think that's a big part, like, because obviously there's people who are just gonna come and sub or donate or whatever just because they want to. Okay. I've actually never done this, but I want to be really real here, right? A lot of it is not a lot. Part of it, there are people out there who want attention as a sub, right? So they're like, oh my God, like I love Mary so much. I love Mary J so much. I just want her to say hi to me. Right. And there's people who will sub. There's people who will sub just for that. Like, it's going to pop up on your screen if you have alerts, right? And then they want you to say hi to them. You know what I mean?
Forgot about that. Yeah.
So that's part of it. I'm not saying that's a big part of it, but that is.
No, I think it is.
Because that's for me a big part of it coming from YouTube, where it's like, because essentially then you're doing a cameo. You know what I mean? Essentially, and if you don't know it, Cameo is an app that I am not on, but Cameo is a thing where you can basically pay movie stars, athletes, streamers, whatever, for a shout out, right? And that's essentially what it is for those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think everyone's sub perks are different, of course. For me, I think one of the biggest things in my chat are the what are they even called? Where it's like the sub badge.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because I have them like different colors and like different, you know what I mean? And so when someone it's like when someone comes in and they've been sub for 2 years with that badge, people are like, "Ooh."
Like, damn, I know that when I see it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like the psychology of why people sub is really, really interesting to me, because it's a lot of it is different. It's different for everyone, because I do get people that are like, I just like you. I just want to support you. I don't even need anything for it. Right.
Twitch is like their whole culture, even because YouTube does that where you can subscribe with money
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So before they started doing that, Twitch, I feel like Twitch was kind of the forefront of
For
creators
sure.
making money on the internet. And people just want to do it to support you. But you're right. I think like the attention that people get, because it's like their username like pops up on the screen and their message,
Yeah.
you're giving them like a few seconds, of like complete attention.
For sure.
I think that definitely draws people in.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
because when else would they get that from that
Yeah.
person? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't have to get too into it, but I just think it's really interesting to think about the other side of it. Like, why are these people outside of just being nice? Like, what are the things that they're getting?
I think support is like the main thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Yep.
Which is cool. Like people just want to support you as
insane.
A creator.
I mean, like really think about this, right? Think about you're and by the way, what you do and what streamers do is not easy by any means. It is actually really difficult and like a 24/7 job for the most part. But like think about like they're like you're streaming your life, even if you're doing ASMR, it's still a section of your day, right? And these people are paying to support that. It's insane. It's so cool. It's really crazy.
And to think you can have a full-time job on people's support, and it's, you don't know if they're going to come back every month, but they do. And it's just incredible for people to want to essentially like take your journey of life with you, just to like watch you grow and change over the years. And people have like 9-year subs, which is like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're one of my longest ones.
Yay.
I think I don't remember. I think I'm at like 32 or 36 months on yours.
Oh my God, Matty, I love you. Thank you.
But that's like a long that's 3 years. Like that's a long time.
I know. And it's like you don't want to break the streak, so you're like,
I know, but and see, that's another psychology part of it, right? Because once you get to a certain point, you're like, I should also explain, if you sub and you don't the next month, right? You lose access to the emotes, right? Like you and then your things kind of reset, right? So yeah, there's a little bit of like, I think you brought up a really good point about the exclusivity of it. Like it's really exclusive. It's really niche.
Yeah. And having that sub badge next to your name in the chat.
Yeah.
It's like, people know you're part of the community.
Right.
So it's cool. Yeah. Like you don't want to go from being a sub to being like a normie, So I think like the gifted subs, I think, are great for that, because a lot of people will be like so grateful that they got gifted a sub that they're like, you know what, like this community is actually fantastic. People are like, someone gave me this sub, So I think it gives people.
And it's kind of a cool system too, right? Because let's say if you weren't planning on subbing and you're just enjoying the stream, which by the way is perfectly fine. Like at least for me, like I don't ever expect people to sub. So when people sub, I'm like surprised. I'm like, whoa, thank you, But if you really think about it, right? If you were not planning to sub and someone gifts you it, one, it's amazing. You're like, oh my God, I got this, right? But then the next month, you may sub yourself. You may continue that to be a part of, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some it's kind of tricky.
Twitch has tweaked little things to make people want to like resub again. So something that they've started to do is if you were gifted a sub and then you gift a sub to someone else, it like announces that like you're like giving.
Yeah.
Do they do that? No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. They do it where if you were gifted a sub and then you continue the next month, it'll like announce like, oh, you're continuing your gifted sub. Yeah. So it's cool. They do incentives.
I just got a thing like it, like weirded me out a few days ago because I think they just rolled it out where it's like it pops up that they're a first time in the chat, like first time chatting.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, what is this like box around their name? What is happening? And I think that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, because then you
I
can
think
like
that's
give
kind of
them
cool.
special attention, make them feel
Exactly.
included. Because
Yeah.
I think viewers are mostly just looking for a safe, like they're looking for a community to feel like where they
Yeah.
belong. And that's why so many viewers on Twitch, like as big and huge the big streamers are, and they get like tens of thousands of views. I think most people on Twitch watch smaller streamers because
Yeah,
it's more intimate. You get to know the people, and you like talk to them regularly, and it just really becomes like friends that you make online.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, um, I think as a streamer too, it's different, right? Because, if you have 2,000 people watching you, right? It's not necessarily easy to keep up with chat. You're for sure not going to be able to respond to everything. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and some people, I think you're exactly right. I think there's some people who like to be in a stream with lower numbers because they're going to get potentially more um, interaction.
Yeah, and a lot of the bigger
Right.
streamers, they won't even like announce your name when you sub
Right.
because like there's just so many.
It's
So
impossible.
yeah.
It's impossible. I've watched streamers that will get 1,000 in a day, and it's like you're not going to call this out. There's no way. There's just no way.
That it intrigues me because those people still subscribe. So they're not doing it for the attention, which is
See.
that
So
yeah.
see, there needs to be like a book written on the psychology of subbing on Twitch. I think it's really really interesting.
I
Seriously.
For me, I find that people will subscribe to the streamers they appreciate the most.
Yeah.
Like even like gamers or like people who just do like random stuff. It's like a lot of the comments that I see are like, "Hey, I really thank you so much for keeping me company during the day. I've been watching you for like 2 years."
Right.
Or like, "I watch you every day. You bring positivity." And it's just like having that one-on-one interaction or like an intimate interaction with the
Yeah.
community is like people will pay because they appreciate that space so
Right.
much. Yeah.
Right. Very interesting. I think it's. I mean, so for me, like I think the difference in YouTube and Twitch is really interesting too, because with YouTube, right, I'm filming, I'm editing, I'm making a polished, as perfect as I can make it product, right? And Twitch with ASMR, it's like you guys are kind of along for the ride. If I mess up, if I drop something, if like all the things that I would cut out of a YouTube video happen on live so people can see it, right? And I think again back to the psychology of it, of viewers, like I think that they love being a part of that.
Oh yeah. It's
You
like
know what I
behind the
mean?
scenes action.
Have you ever had anything happen that you would cut out of a YouTube video happen on stream?
On ASMR and
Or just in
ASMR.
general? Just in general.
Oh man. Twitch is a scary place when you're live, like wardrobe malfunctions are
Right.
probably like the first thing that comes to mind because it's just like shit happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um but definitely scuffs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I don't know. That's actually the reason why I've had so much trouble converting to YouTube
Mm.
is because like I'm just so used to being like, yeah, like whatever, like this is
Right. Right.
what you see is what you get. So yeah, like being able to
Hmm.
like relax and like feel like I can be myself has been hard
Yeah.
doing that. But what's been your experience?
I mean, I mess up all the time on on live stream, which is really funny because I've gotten to the point with YouTube where my videos recording and stuff are kind of on autopilot. Like I don't really mess up that much. Like I literally, people ask for blooper videos all the time, and I'm like, I'll have a blooper one every like 6 videos now. Like I'm like kind of locked in on that.
King.
But then on Twitch, I get on Twitch and like I'll like drop stuff. I'll like hit the mic all the time. Like it's like there's
You're
a
like my
lot of
ears.
right, yeah, which is really funny because especially with ASMR, it's such a like I've hit the mic before and people will be like, oh my god, that just woke me up. or you know what I mean? It's like it's really really funny.
Oh man, like some people listen to my ASMR so loud,
Yeah.
and like I'll drop like a glass dish or something.
Mm-hmm.
It really traumatizing things have definitely happened because of just how loud the gain and the sound is. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but it happens. People know what to expect, I think, generally.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Do you ever something I've noticed that's really funny is especially with ASMR, after I've streamed for a couple hours, the people there won't go down, but the people chatting will go down. And I've like asked people about that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I like fell asleep."
Literally. You're like,
You know what I
hello, is
mean?
this going on?
Right. But it's so funny because I'll see like the people are still there. They're just not talking because they're literally falling asleep or chilling out or whatever. So I just think that's again, it's just a completely different dynamic than YouTube.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's definitely another beast of its own, but YouTube has so much more like wider potential.
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
I need to be a YouTuber. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm
Yeah.
coming over.
Yeah. I mean, both. I think both of them have their, you know, they both have their ups and downs for sure.
Okay.
Um, I got to start a rerun. No, I'm kidding. I'm
You
kidding.
do.
Okay.
Wait, I wanted to ask you, sorry.
Yeah.
Am I allowed
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
ask you questions?
Yeah. Sure.
Do you live stream on YouTube too? Okay. You're not allowed, right? Is that the
Okay.
thing?
So here's okay. So that's something we should talk about too. So, okay. So I have before. I used to stream live like a few years ago when I was around like 50,000 subs, 50,000 subs or so. Around there, I would stream on there, just IRL stuff, which like in hindsight, I was like dumb because there's an ASMR channel. That's not what people are here for. But since like having a larger following on there, I've streamed one time, and that was when I hit 400,000 subs. I did like a special, right? And it was chaos. It was absolute chaos because like what did we peak at? I think it was like 20, almost 3,000 people. And
Nice.
it was like the chat is moving faster than a human can possibly read anything. You know what I mean? And just the dynamic is different because like it's like a super chat donations and like it's just crazy.
Oh.
Um but that's something we should talk about though, is that I think it's kind of the same as YouTube, right? Once you get to a certain to 100,000, right, you get a little check mark next to your name and you're verified on YouTube, right? And I think that's what a lot of people strive. I remember when I wasn't there, I was like, "Oh my god, I want that so bad. I want the plaque. I want the right because it's some validation, right?" So I think Twitch does have a system like that, and it's partner, right? So um talk to me about being partnered. What is the difference for the people out there, because we're both partnered, but like what are the for the people out there right, for the people out there, like explain what the difference in being partnered is from just normal not partnered.
I think a lot of it has to do with the validation. Like, it's like being verified anywhere. It's like, by the way, I'm verified. Like I actually do this,
That check mark.
But besides that, I think you get like recognition in other people's, communities because people recognize you as a
Right.
Twitch streamer. And they also have other perks that Twitch like provides themselves. Like if you go to TwitchCon and you're a partner, you can get into like special parties and they have like separate lines for you. So that's really nice. And
Have
they
you been
kind
to
of,
TwitchCon?
I have.
Oh yeah, you have. Duh.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go that what would that be, 2 years ago now or so, because you guys did like a big ASMR stream together. There's a bunch of people.
Yeah. Oh, that was so nice. I didn't get to meet a lot of like the YouTuber
Yeah.
ASMR people, but we got to hang out and do like a little Twitch tingle
Yeah.
stream, which was really fun.
I've said this. I don't remember what episode, but I'll just tell you too. So that first year when you guys did that, I was gonna go, and I don't remember what came up. Something came up, but then also I wasn't partnered at the time because I wasn't streaming like at all. like I just had an account, right? And I was like, I heard from people that it's like way better
It is.
being partnered, right? Okay, so then the next year I was like, okay, getting partner. And honestly, I should say this too. Twitch reached out to me and like, okay, so to become partner, right, you have to hit certain, there's a pathway to partnership, right? And there's a certain, you have to average what, 75 viewers?
Yeah, I think it is 75.
Something like that. And you have to stream a certain amount of days in a week and blah, 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 blah. But I think Twitch does make it really clear. Like, I like that they're just like, you got to do these 4 things, right? So I streamed ASMR like, I don't even know, 4 or 5 weeks in a row every day.
Damn, the
So I was like,
hustle.
I need that. I want to get partnered, right? And the only reason was to go to TwitchCon.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, I got to get partnered, go to TwitchCon. And then I get partnered, and then COVID happened and it's canceled.
oh
So it's
my
like,
god.
I was like, I'm happy I got partnered, but also I'm like,
Hello.
I did it because I wanted to go to TwitchCon for that.
Like, where's my merch bag?
Right. I cannot wait for those to be back.
So excited.
I
hope they
cannot
do it in
wait.
San Diego again next year.
Yeah.
Because it was great.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you.
Right? I know. I'm excited. I think with how things are going right now, I think they'll be back next year.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, or they could have just done it in Texas.
They
last
should have
year.
done it in
I'm kidding.
Texas. There's an idea.
Oh man. Okay. Okay, I got a few more for you. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay. As a streamer right now, would you rather have 25 gifted subs or 10,000 bits right now?
10,000 bits.
So this is the only reason that I asked this is because I think it's amazing that streamers have this like crazy quick math in their head that they can do. And no one
We're like,
talks about it. Like
not
no
that one.
no one ever talks about this math that streamers can do,
It's true.
right? Because like when that pops up and it's like, oh, they gifted 5 subs, right? You know in your head you're like, okay, that's that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like no one's ever said that because I guess it's a little bit like, but I think it's really interesting to think about on that side. Like it's just a skill that you accrue over time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, oh, I got like 30 subs today. I made this much. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like you kind of like already know before. You don't
Isn't
have
that
to,
funny though? And
Yeah.
then like the difference in like the Twitch's cut on subs, bits, whatever. Like it's all factored into like this math that we can do.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny.
I think bits are it's I used to say subs because subs are good for building the community and
Right.
stuff, but
Right.
strictly from like a business standpoint, 10K subs is definitely the way to go because
Yeah.
with the way it works with bits, if they buy 10K bits as a streamer, you get $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for them to purchase a 10K bits, it's like 125 or something.
27, yeah, or
So
something. Yeah.
they're actually eating that fee instead of you
Exactly.
eating that fee as like since the
For
cut
subs,
they
yeah.
take. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that for every streamer that I have on this show because I think it's so funny that like you can answer that so quickly because you just have this skill of doing the math so fast. I think it's
Definitely
so funny.
bits.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. All right, moving on. I'm so glad I put that in here because I think that's so. And no, I've never heard anyone talk about that. Like just this quick math that we have. Okay, moving on. You have a large following on Twitch, and again, just you're always live, so people are just always seeing you. Super smart. Have you ever had any bad situations with fans? IRL?
No, I haven't actually. Like people that I met on the street. No. I mean, one time I was at H Mart and I like wasn't wearing any makeup and I looked crazy, so that was traumatizing for me when I met someone who recognized
I feel
me.
like it's like the one time you don't dress nice or look nice is when you're gonna meet people for sure.
and they say your name and you're like, oh, you like turn around like, oh, I hate you.
I'll say this though. I think that was one cool part of this last year and a half was the mask thing. It's like,
I miss
you
the
know,
masks. Kinda, you know? Like when you want to
yeah,
wear them, you're like, I'm just gonna hide and
yeah,
say whatever I
yeah,
want back here.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so but not really any in no real bad situations.
Not really. I mean, I think a situation that happens a lot is, people will kind of like at TwitchCon or something, they're excited, they want to
Yeah.
hang out with you. So they'll kind of like linger a little bit. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
I hate making people feel bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's been probably the most challenging thing for me is like, oh, like, I don't know
Yeah.
what to do. Like, yeah, but thankfully, I haven't had any like scary or negative experiences meeting people.
Nice.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I think and I can't speak. I've actually never been to TwitchCon like
God,
ever.
it's gonna
And
be
so
so
I'm very excited. But I've been to a few VidCons now and like there's a difference in being there as a fan and as a creator, and then being a featured creator there because the like the first time people would come up to me and like you said, they would linger and it's like, all right, well, um, I guess you're walking with me now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. And then when I was featured, there was like security when we were going places, and that was so nice. And not
Oh,
that there
wait,
wasn't
no.
anything bad, but it was just getting you out of those situations of like lingering and stuff was really, really nice.
Oh, that is
It
nice.
was really, really nice. So here's my plan, right? For TwitchCon. I'm just gonna have a friend wear a security shirt and walk with me.
It's like, sir, you have a meeting or you got
Yeah,
to go to
yeah.
an
If
event
something
over
weird
here.
happens, they're just like, all right, and maybe he'll have like an earpiece,
That's genius. I might
right?
steal that idea. Like, oh, I
Right?
gotta
Yeah.
go this thing. See you later. Thank you. It was
I
really nice
love
to
it.
meet you.
I love it.
Uh,
Oh, okay. I got a few more for you. I actually have a fan. I have a viewer question, and this is from at Life in Pink 12,
okay.
and they wanted to know when you're doing sound triggers, do you still talk with your chat or do you focus more on the sounds and keep silent? And is it possible to find a balance between the two? Like, how do you balance doing the thing and reading chat and responding?
Oh man, that balance I've been struggling with since I started ASMR because
Yeah.
personally I love ASMR just sounds.
Hmm.
So that's the way I like to do ASMR. But it's like when you have a live chat and they're all like really excited to see you, it's hard not to get like excited and be like, oh
Yeah.
my God, like, Um, but I find that my community that's like my core community really likes it when I'm talking a lot, but just people who are just there for the ASMR, they definitely value the no talking. So I try to balance it.
Yeah.
I don't do that good of a job because when I'm excited that day, like I'm just excited and I can't help
Right.
it. But I've
Right.
thought about doing like 1 hour of talking because that's usually
Mm.
like when it's the most poppin'.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then like continuing the rest of the stream doing a no
Right.
talking thing because no talking streams don't do as well either.
Is that
'Cause,
right?
like yeah. Oh, it's
Mm.
kind of significant.
Is it because
Um,
they're not getting the interaction
yes.
back, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Okay.
not showing, like, as much excitement. Like, I'm not giving them that attention.
Right.
So it definitely impacts it. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're one of the first people I ever saw in ASM and maybe I'm wrong. You were just the first person I saw doing no talking streams where you're just
Yeah.
like and you put on the screen, you're like no talking or in the title like
Yeah.
no talking stream, right? For you, what are the advantages of that of listing it as a no talking stream?
So I kind of just make ASMR the way that I enjoy ASMR.
Hmm.
Um, Before I started doing the no talking streams, excuse me, I noticed that most ASMR creators, I'm not sure if this is the case on YouTube, but most people are talking and whispering, and that's a huge part of the experience.
Yeah.
But for me, I kind of just wanted to like focus it on like the sounds and like creating like a steady rhythm.
Yeah.
because that's what puts me to sleep.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just like, I kind of just want to focus and, like have it kind of like an ambient sound for like a short
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no talking has
Hmm.
been really beneficial for like sleep sounds in
Right.
particular, I think.
Well, and I think because I've never done that before, but I could imagine maybe it takes some pressure off you too of not having to keep up with chat and not having to, right? Like you don't have to respond. I feel like there's some pressure to respond to everything,
Yeah.
right?
And like sometimes if I'm like in a crabby mood or like didn't get to eat before my stream, it's like, I'm
Right.
just going to do no talking stream. And it's like, at least
Yeah,
I'm there. So it definitely takes pressure off because sometimes like I just don't feel like talking or don't
for
feel as
sure. Yeah.
peppy. So it's helpful for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really big part of it too, is like, you know, I think when people stream, there's this expectation of you got to be on, right? And that comes from, I think, us, of course, feeling like we have to be, but also just,
Mhm.
People don't want to watch people who aren't on. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yep.
because there's a part of streaming that's really performative.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good tool to though when you're not feeling it, right? To do a no talking stream, and clearly it's working. So that's wow. I've learned a lot today.
Oh, yay.
I really have.
I feel like it's hard because I don't know. I really enjoy doing the talking streams, but the no talking streams definitely is an escape for me because as much
Mm,
as I think I can concentrate when I'm reading the chat,
yeah.
my ASMR is never as good as like when I'm really just focused on what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
pros and cons,
Okay.
I think, of both.
Right. Okay. I love it. I love it. All right. I got a couple more for you. If you could hear anyone on this podcast in the future, who would you like to hear?
Ooh, I would like to hear Kitty plays.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah, I
Shout
think
out
that'd
to
be
Kitty.
really fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, she's like
Okay.
my favorite creator right now. So
I love it. I will get in contact with her. I would love to. I would love to. All right, last question for you. And before we get to this, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I think that you're wonderful. I love your stream. You've always been super super kind to me, so I'm very happy we could make this happen.
me too. You're like one of my favorite creators, Maddie. You've been so kind. That's why you have so many creator friends, because you're so genuine, like
Mm,
genuinely kind and care about people. And it's like that energy is definitely felt. So thank you for inviting me. Like
of course.
I haven't
Of
done
course. Thank
something
you.
like this in a while.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, last question. Easily the most important question on here, and the one that people really want to know. Thoughts on pineapple on pizza? Is it a yes or no? I'm asking every guest this,
Ooh.
and it's very divisive. I'm sorry if you lose half of your following.
I would absolutely eat pineapple on pizza. Like it's a
Yeah.
non-issue for me, but I would never order pineapple on my pizza. You know?
So if it's there,
If it's there, I'll eat
if
it.
it's
Like I'm
there,
not
you'll
gonna
eat it.
pick it off. But like when it's like a little bit like charred from the oven,
Yeah.
it's kind of nice.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take this as a yes because the other side of the people that are on the no are like absolutely not, disgusting, the worst. And so I'm gonna take it as a yes for you because you would still eat it if it's there.
But why are pineapples the debate when people put sardines on their pizza? Like
See,
that's like
I know. I listen. I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
I
I
get it.
don't know the answer to that. The pizza. I mean, really, that should be a podcast if it's not. It's just pizza
If
debating
it's
pizza stuff because it's. um. Sorry. Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. I don't know why it's a thing. It's just like super. People are either like so extremely yes or no, um, on it. It's very
it's a
interesting.
milk and cereal thing too.
Exactly. Where are you on that?
I'm a milk first kind of girl. I've
Really?
always been that way. Yeah, I get a lot of hate for that,
I
but
don't
it's just
understand.
like
And it's okay, by the way. Like, it's not like I don't like hate people that do it. I just like can't wrap my mind around.
but okay, let me just explain it really quick, okay?
Okay, please.
So when I eat cereal, I eat a lot of cereal, right?
Yeah.
And it's like if I put the milk first, then the cereal goes on top. So it stays crunchier. Whereas if I pour it over the cereal, it gets like all of it just like sinks and it gets like really soggy. So it's actually a high IQ move. Just you should try it sometime. Let me get back to me on that. I think
Do you have a favorite?
we'll see.
Do you have a favorite cereal?
Favorite cereal? Ooh, it depends on my mood, but probably Cocoa Pebbles or like Cinnamon Toast
Nice.
Crunch.
CT Crunch is mine.
Yes, it's
Can't go
just
wrong.
Delicious. Like every bite is good. I can't explain it.
Can't
And
go wrong.
nostalgia. So
For sure. Yeah. Okay, listen, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being here. I can't say any more nice things about you because it would just be another hour of this podcast. But I'm excited to see where you go from here. You've already done so much. So I'm excited for you.
thank you.
All right, where can they find you online? This is your time to plug away.
Ooh, okay. Twitch.tv/MaryJLeeee with 4 E's and Twitter/MaryJLeeee, Instagram. I'm making a fan house soon for like behind the scenes stuff.
Nice.
But I'm basically MaryJLeeee everywhere.
Nice.
Everywhere you can find me.
Love it. Definitely go check her out. Sounds to me like she's gonna be live or at least online almost all of the time with the rerun. So definitely go check her out. And then when she is live, go check her out and say hi and tell her that you came from the podcast.
Yeah, I would love that.
I would love that. All right, thank you so much. Guys out there listening, thank you so much for listening. Please remember to subscribe on the YouTube and leave a 5-star review, especially on Apple Podcasts. This has been the Creator Code Podcast. I am your host, MattyTingles. Be safe out there. Be kind to others and yourself. See you next time.